Thank you. Our next topic is one on everyone's mind, sadly. It's about gun violence, and it goes first to Frank McGehee. Reducing gun violence and gun crime in our state is more about work on the community level, making our communities safer and more peaceful. We know there probably are people out there right now with firearms in their homes who are at risk of harming themselves or others. Regarding suicide and school-based violence, we'd like to know your thinking about the implementation of the red flag laws, also known as the extreme risk protection orders. Please unmute yourself for a 2-minute answer.
Thank you, Sean. First of all, protecting our kids in our communities is our greatest responsibility. I am proud to live in New Jersey, a pioneer in gun violence prevention, where state legislators have already taken the hard and very important votes to secure a wide range of gun laws to protect our citizens. As the state with the 4th strongest gun laws in the country, we have the 3rd lowest rate of firearm deaths and the lowest rate of firearm ownership at about 9% of households. We know that common sense gun safety laws work, and I am 100% committed to continuing this work. But we need to do more. Red flag laws have been passed in 19 states across the country, including New Jersey. I stand by these laws because it has shown, the data has shown, that red flag laws can prevent a person with a history of violence from owning a gun or considering harming themselves or others. And awareness is absolutely a key component to the success of the red flag laws. And that's why I would work with organizations like Moms Demand Action. This organization, along with Everytown for Gun Safety Support Fund, promotes the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, as well as other public awareness campaigns. One public awareness campaign that Moms Demand Action runs is the Be Smart campaign, which educates parents about how to ask about the presence of guns in their homes, where their children frequent, as well as the importance of securing firearms so that children who are at risk for suicide or self-harm aren't able to access them. We need more of this and more straight talk from public officials about the dangers of gun violence and what we can do about it. Essex County, including Newark and Irvington, lead our state when it comes to gun violence. This needs to stop. I will promote red flag laws. Thank you.
Thank you. Cleopatra Tucker, please unmute yourself for your 1-minute response.
There are too many guns in the country, whether it's legal or illegal. Too many youth dying at the hands of guns. Too many mass shootings. If the red flag law, we can save one person or stop one school shooting, then it's effective. We will continue to work with community partners in Newark and meet with the police communities, relationship councils, and the religious interfaith people to combat this terrible issue with gun laws. And we have to make sure we support the religious groups, the community leaders, and the elected officials to make us feel comfortable in ensuring that we report any suspicious acts and that we are using these acts in a way to ensure safety in our community. So we have to work together and report things that we.
Thank you. Garnett Hall, your 1-minute response. Please unmute yourself.
I support strong red flag laws, getting the guns off the street. And I'm a candidate for Moms Against Gun Violence. It's personal. My son is a Newark police officer in the belly of the beast. And I hear the activity that goes on a daily basis. And I practice that guns are being confiscated and off the streets. And I listen to the community and they want the same thing. one of the things that happens is the community calls the police, and the police will tell them, you call me after the shots ring out. So we've got some work to do. I agree with all three of you. Let's get together and get that done.
Thank you. Another gun violence question. This one goes first to Cleopatra Tucker. How do you propose to increase awareness of these red flag laws and create a culture in which there is more reporting without having schools or towns surveilling kids and families? Please unmute yourself for your 2-minute answer.
Well, I think one of the things we can do, we can have more get out more in our community to explain what we're doing and why we want the Red Flag Act to protect it. We should educate our children in school about see something, say something. And as well as we can have community meetings and throughout all our districts and talk about the gun control acts and the things that we need to do to make sure that our children and our families are protected from these violent issues that's happening with guns. It's a hard thing to do, but we can get it done if we work together through our churches, our schools, and our community, and focus on the red gun. And just explain the importance of to our children and other people about the guns and the right use of a gun and the wrong use of a gun. And I think if we do that and have the community police group come out and talk to the kids and the people about guns and just explain the process of how something can happen so quick. And then you have to make sure that even if you have a weapon in your home, you have the safety lock on the guns, or put the guns away so the children won't be able to reach it, because that's a lot of times, that's one of the things that happen. So we have to work with the police department, our cities, councils, our mayors, our community leaders, and our ministers.
Thank you. Garnett Hall, please unmute yourself for your 1-minute response.
You can notify law enforcement in your community or the state police, or call Sandy Hook Promise Hotline at 1-844-5-SAY-NOW. Many things. I agree with all the things that the three of you have said. But Assemblywoman Jaycee has also introduced legislation creating a staff state hotline that's going to be 24/7, a public awareness campaign regarding it to be fully supported. So we are making progress, but we have to just keep pressing until we can get to the point where we can see a little progress at a time.
Thank you. Frank McGehee, please unmute yourself for your 1-minute response.
Thank you, Sean. As I mentioned in my previous answer, awareness is absolutely the key component to the success of this program. And I also mentioned, I talk about organizations like Mom Demand Action and other organizations such as Everytown for Gun Safety Support Fund. Sitting down with these organizations, coupled with our Community Board of Police in our respective communities, as well as our Traffic Bureau, as well as in our Safety Bureau team, and to come up with ideas and concepts which we can disseminate amongst those organizations to provide a stronger understanding of the process and the procedures is key to moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. Now we turn to questions from the audience. Our first audience question goes to Frank McGehee, and here it is. One of my questions concerns the recently passed Elections Transparency Act, the one that defanged the Elections Law Enforcement Commission, gutted pay-to-play protections, doubled campaign contribution limits, and authorized slush funds, among other issues. The Maplewood Democratic Committee, to their credit, came out against it, even though it was a Democratic bill that passed almost entirely along party lines. Of our district's current state legislators, only John McKeon had the courage to buck the party and vote no, one of only 4 Democrats in both houses to do so. The other 3 included Cleopatra Tucker, I do not know much about her, but that speaks well of her. I would like to ask the candidates how they would have voted on that bill. Frank, you have 2 minutes.
Yes, and I would have been right there with John as well. You know, at the end of the day, when you think about having a level playing field and the opportunity for people to engage in the political process, inclusive of funding, we do not want to have opportunities where people can put money into pools and we cannot extract and find out where the sources are coming from. That's not transparency. That's not democracy. And I applaud Assemblyman McKeon for standing up. You know, as Democrats, we are unified in many issues and many concepts, but we also first and foremost serve the people. And what is right and just for the people may not necessarily align with our party. So I, for one, would have aligned with McKeon and voted it down. And that's what I feel about that topic. Thank you, Sean.
Cleopatra Tucker, we know how you voted, but we'll give you 1 minute to discuss this more.
Well, I voted no because I didn't think it was the right thing to do. And I have I looked at it, the things that I think it wasn't transparent, and we have to be most transparent in what we do. And so that I just voted no because I didn't think it was right.
Thank you. Garnett Hall, 1 minute, please.
Leo voted no. And with John McCann, that's my response.
Okay, thank you.